So majority of what I've been seeing today on Twitter is people talking about what is the next big microcap coin. What microcap coin should I talk about? What small cap coin should we talk about? What is your favorite small cap coin? Let me tell you guys, okay? This is straight up truth when it comes to what is going on with microcaps and any kind of small cap coin, especially in this market. If you go on Twitter and you start seeing those posts from a lot of influencers, not every influencer is guilty of this, okay? But for most influencers, what they'll do is they'll put that tweet out seeking the most common, which one gets the most comments as far as the micro cap or small cap coin that everyone likes, and then they will reach out to that project, or some of those projects will reach out to the influencer and say, tell you what, if you will talk about this coin, we will OTC you X amount of this coin, and then do a video about it. The coin will then pump after the video comes out or after the influencer starts talking about it. Guess what happened? You got front runned. Okay, that happens a lot in this space. And again, not every influencer is guilty of this. But think about this for a second. If you had the power, okay, to reach out there and find out, okay, I have a massive community, a massive, huge following of people who want to go out there and pump these next microcap coins. Which one is the most popular? Oh, this one. Let me reach out to that project. Let me OTC some of that coin. Let me put a video about it because I know it has a huge community and more people will buy it. And then I will sell into the buying pressure. That is very common practice right now, okay? And again, not every influencer is guilty of this, but there are multiple ones that do take advantage of that. This is why I did a video yesterday kind of talking about the small cap gems. Yes, there's some good small cap gems out there. There are some micro cap coins out there that will pump. But do not chase the influencers. Do not chase what's popular on Twitter when it comes to these micro caps or these small cap coins. The magic trick is do the research for yourself. Go and find them before anybody else is talking about it, before it ever makes it on Twitter, before it ever makes it on YouTube. That's the trick. That's how you really maximize it. Once an influencer is already talking about it, once you start seeing it plagued with tweets, it's already sketchy ground. You're already on the ground, the territory to where your buying pressure could be sold into. Therefore, you just lose. And truthfully, right now, there's so much action happening. Look at Stellar Lumens, 155% in the past 7 days. 155% in the past 7 days, guys. Hell, if we break it down, just the Horizon, Zen, look at that, 172%, XRP, 124%. Oh, God. Verge, 85%. Status, 79%. Nano, I mean, look at this. And Waves, 49%. There's so many coins out there in this kind of environment that aren't small and medium or micro cap freaking coins that are predatory. There's good projects out there. I'm going to tell you right now, most of these top 100s are going to pump. And you don't have to worry about at what point is that whale going to start dumping and crushing the rest of us? At what point is a team going to start selling into us and crushing us? With these established projects, okay, the established projects are already in the top 100, even 200, are already gotten past those growing pains of them needing to sell into your buying pressure. And I'm going to give you a good example. We just mentioned it, Waves. When I first talked about Waves, okay, this summer, the first time I mentioned it in this channel, and I told you guys it was going to be big, it was 98 cents. 98 freaking cents is where Waves was at. And I told you guys, these guys are innovating. Waves is known for ecosystems. They've been known through every bear and bull market for going in there and adapting and building and making what the community desires and positioning themselves to grow. And I'm here to tell you, there is more things happening with Waves. As a matter of fact, okay, here's what I want to tell you. Watch the rest of this video. The reason for that is I know many of you guys are wanting to chase all these small caps, these micro caps, and all these things that seem like they offer huge promises, and all these things that seem like they could make you rich quick. Some of these will. Some of these will if you did your own research and you found these things without any influencers, without anyone on Twitter, without anyone on Medium. You find these things before anyone's talking about them. That's the magic, and that's possible. But when you have established projects like Waves, you don't have to do that, because obviously we started at 98 cents when I first started talking about Waves, and they're over $7 now. The team didn't have to sell into you. They didn't have to sit there and pull profits. They didn't have to crush their community. Their VCs, their OG investors didn't have to crush the community. The selling for things like this is already over. So it's a safer zone to play. But Waves is not done growing. Watch the rest of this video. I actually got Sten from Waves. He and I had a quick conversation about Waves and even microcaps and some of the risks. All right, guys, so check this out. We got Sten here from Waves. And like I said, these low cap coins, these micro cap coins, they sound fun, they sound enticing, but I promise you, as far as a long-term play, as far as a safe play, as far as a logical play, it's not as wise as going for projects that have been around, that have established themselves, that can actually show you where they've been and where they're going. So Sten, I want to know real fast, okay, what is your thoughts right now on microcap coins and the fact that you see influencers and the community, everyone right now hunting down the next big microcap coin? What is your thoughts right now on that behavior?
Well, I would say it's quite logical because from an influencer perspective, you want to give opportunities to, depending on if you're a trader or more of a fundamental influencer, but you want to give your community an opportunity to like make money, have profits, and it's a lot easier to have impact from a group of people buying the same coin when it's a small cap coin, because the impact is proportionally speaking going to be much larger. So it's going to give you greater returns. I think we saw a very similar thing happening in late 2016 and early 17, where a bunch of people were essentially, I remember a time on Poloniex where you could essentially look, okay, which one hasn't like done a spike up in the last 7 days? Okay, I'm going to buy this one because it's likely that this one is going to go up. You know, it depends on how you trade. I wouldn't say it's a bad strategy. I would just say be aware of the risks and what you're trading for. I think in a bull run, it isn't bad to trade based on a well-educated guess around hype. If you know that the project is hyped, if you know that their fundamentals are sufficiently strong enough, and as soon as something is capable of going up very quickly, it also means that it has the same capacity to go down very quickly. And a lot of people, usually that's where they make their mistake, where and I speak from firsthand experience, and I'm sure you've realized that or you've experienced that as well.
Oh yeah, I've lost a lot of money.
Yeah, but you essentially think, holy, this is like going up so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't specifically know where to stop. A lot of the hype-based traders don't have that experience of, okay, this is my cutoff point, this is where I take my profit, and this is where I am happy with what I have, and I'm not chasing that additional 5 or 10 or like 100%. And I think probably a second thing, which is part of your question, and it's kind of like how I try to balance my own choices in the past. What do you go for? Do you go for hype in the moment, short term? Do you know like your starting and your exit point? Or do you choose to not only trade based on like awareness of the entire crypto community, but do you look at what is this project solving? I think you've had a lot of exposure with Waves recently. Like,
I have. You see, the thing about Waves is Waves this year. Waves this year has been like on a rampage. It's really done. They've done well this year.
yes.
What I want to know is what actually triggered Waves to take this new direction. Because I mean, if you follow what Waves was, right, from the 2017, 18, 19, 20, even until today,
Yeah.
it's always evolving. It's like, and they're always adding more to their ecosystem. And that's the thing about Waves. A lot of people don't really appreciate the fact that it's an ecosystem. There's multiple different elements that work together to achieve a common goal. So, I mean, what triggered Waves this year to take this new direction that they're in right now?
Sasha, the CEO, he wanted to build an infrastructure, like you said, an ecosystem that not only solves the, let's say, the key challenges of the industry, but he has a very specific focus on, and the whole company has that currently, like a very specific focus on, we don't just want to solve things and build infrastructure as a solution. We want to build something practical, something pragmatic that people can use today immediately. Like it's this approach of, to make an analogy with Elon Musk, like it's this approach of, we're going to put people on Mars, but we're already going to design your spacesuit today because that's something that we can do already. And we're going to prepare you to like get to that point in the future. And I'd argue that they're building more than just spacesuits. And I wouldn't say full space shuttles yet, but we're getting there, I'd say. It's pretty cool. And I think that's kind of what's happened over the last few months, let's say like three, 4 quarters. It's sort of like a culmination of a lot of infrastructure that's being built in individual parts. Like you have of course, the Waves protocol, which is like still the core blockchain upon which everything else is built. An infrastructure for plug and play DeFi, or like plug and play algorithmic finance. It's supposed to be super easy for people to use, but they get access to like really powerful and sustainable DeFi functionality. But from a very practical perspective, it should be easy. It shouldn't be super complex. And they have this approach with anything. The same goes for Gravity. Like Gravity is an interoperability protocol, but it's probably the only protocol or blockchain that I know that doesn't have a token. It's like they essentially try to solve the same challenges as Polkadot or Cosmos or many other chains are solving, but they said, well, screw it, let's not implement a token there. And it's probably the progress in a lot of those individual fields where we now see those first examples of the big use cases that they've been pushing out.
Now, one of those things you guys built is Neutrino. And as I understand, today is the birthday, right? The anniversary
Correct.
Of Neutrino, right? Now, Neutrino is something that I don't think enough people fully, I guess you can say, maybe appreciate or even understand. Can you give us a further breakdown / understanding of Neutrino, the USDN benefits, how the whole thing works?
No, absolutely. I mean, I'll try to keep it efficient, actually. Let me start off with what I personally like most about it. It's the fact that, okay, we know that it's sitting inside Waves' ecosystem, and automatically, like that means that the user experience is pretty like seamless. It's quite easy to like do any transactions on anything Neutrino related. It's really, really like it's interesting how easy it is if you compare it with other chains. But what sparks my interest most is that it's one of the only stable coins that is generating a yield in the way that Neutrino is generating it, and it's sustainable. It's the additional yield is not coming from borrowing or lending or any let's say market dependent opportunity. It's not something that is like opportunity based. Of course, lending market will continue, but Waves has essentially has a smart contract on Waves blockchain that's called Neutrino Smart Contract, where you can essentially send in Waves into the contract, and the contract will send you an equal dollar value back of what you've sent in the contract. So there's no over collateralization. If I send in 1,000 Waves and Waves is at $7.50 right now, then that means that I'm going to get like around 2 blocks later, which is around 2 minutes, I'm going to get $7,500 back in USDN, of course. Mm-hmm. Where the interesting part is that I don't own that Waves anymore. That Waves is no longer my property. That Waves is now owned by the smart contract. So this is where the technical bit starts. Is Waves is a proof of stake blockchain. So it means that it's generating leasing rewards for people who are staking their Waves and helping for the block rewards, essentially to like secure the network. That's around 5 to 6% APY per year on average. The waves that is sitting in that neutrino contract is automatically being staked. The staking rewards are being paid out to that contract on a daily basis, and they're also automatically converted to neutrino, to USDN. So the payout of this leasing rewards is converted to USDN, and then that's paid out to people who are staking their USDN. So some people are trading it, some people have it on exchanges, some people just bought it. It means that not everyone is staking it, which means that this reward, this interest, this yield is disproportionately paid out to people who are staking it, which gives you, in some cases, gives you quite a large APY on like a yearly basis, because we've seen 15%, we've seen 25%. And of course, that payout is dollar-based. So if the waves, which is waves and it's not in dollar, if the waves in the smart contract grows from a waves to USD perspective, the total payout that you get to the USDN holders is even more out of proportion, because the waves price keeps growing. So there's essentially more dollars in the contract as collateral. So it's proven to be a very interesting concept, because on Ethereum, it's impossible to do that as it is currently. And we decided to support the Neutrino team in porting the whole infrastructure to the Ethereum ecosystem, and essentially create an automatically compounded token of USDN on ETH, which means that from the moment that you put USDN in a DeFi contract or a pool or any aggregator, like anywhere where you'd have stable coins now, you would have the same result, but more interest. And that's why we've seen such a massive interest in the curve pool as well, because the curve pool, a lot of people have started voting on that curve pool with their V curve to like increase the APY, because USDN has a very high return already. So it's like a profitable strategy on top of a profitable strategy.
No, but you know, I like what Waves has done with all this. You know, I like how Waves has. I mean, and then if you know their history, they're known for doing this. They're known for looking at what the community is hungry for, what they need, and finding the ways to create the tools to give the community what it is.
I actually had an interesting conversation with Sasha about what you're saying specifically not that long ago. Like Sasha essentially said, we're continuously looking at where the market is moving.
Yeah. And
we will learn from the innovation that's going on as long as it fits our general agenda. But Sasha has no interest, and Waves in general has no interest in just merely copying things. They don't want to copy for the sake of copying and saying, oh, we have it too in our ecosystem now. They really want to build something. They might be a little bit slower than the pioneers in the space, but they take their time essentially to build out an alternative version that combines the best of a few, that they know, okay, once we've set like the bar, it'll be valid for like a longer period. We won't have to like get back into it and fix it. And that's probably what you've seen over the last few months. A lot of people in the community have started learning more about Waves and essentially have, let's say, put their money where their mouth is, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it is. They put their money where their mouth is. You know, they really have. But listen,
cool.
I enjoyed the conversation. I hope people learned something new about Waves and got a better appreciation for the ecosystem and the USDN. Stan, we should do this again sometime.
Yeah, we should.
I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for having me. Talk to you soon.
I hope you learned something from that and kind of got the mindset of someone from the Waves team. I mean, if you listen to how he talked, everything's long-term focus, build for the future, build for where things are going to be. We can't do this now, but we know in the future this is going to be needed. Let's go ahead and start building it. I'm going to tell you right now, Waves right now is sitting at $7.38 right now as we speak. I'm very confident as this market continues to grow, the price of Waves is going to continue to grow with it. All right, guys, so listen, that's all I have for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.